Hey, welcome to the Cyber Savvy Woman, where women business owners reclaim their power in the digital world. We shatter the myth that cybersecurity is too complex to master and transform protection strategies into clear, actionable guidance. This is your digital empowerment sanctuary, where cyber fear becomes cyber confidence. Whether you're protecting client trust as a therapist or safeguarding financial data as an advisor, you'll hear from women founders who've conquered digital challenges and security experts who speak your language. Every woman leading a business deserves to feel unshakable in her digital decisions, no matter her technical background. Are you ready to stop letting cybersecurity intimidate you and start letting it elevate you? Here's your host, Rachele Schainker.
Welcome back to the Cyber Savvy Woman, the podcast where we talk about practical ways women can protect themselves, their businesses, and their future in this increasingly digital world. I'm your host, Rachele Schainker, a Silicon Valley technologist and the owner of the award-winning managed service provider, CMIT Solutions of San Mateo. Today, I'm joined by Aaron Welch, a longtime digital marketing entrepreneur who's been building businesses online since the early days of AOL CDs and dial-up internet. Aaron has nearly 25 years of experience in digital marketing, has worked with companies like Cisco and Rackspace, and today helps service-based businesses, including healthcare, legal, accounting, and IT, grow smarter using automation, AI, and modern tools. He also has one of the most practical and grounded perspectives I've heard on AI and why it feels like the early internet again, and how business owners can use it without getting overwhelmed. Aaron, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to talk about you. We had a great pre-call, and so I'm excited for my listeners to hear more. You mentioned you started your first business 25 years ago. What got you into that world so early? What drew you in?
Uh, it was a combination. So I was very early adopter to the internet. I'm a Marine Corps veteran from back in the 1900s and was the only guy in the barracks with a computer.
Wow.
So very early on. And what got me into the entrepreneur bug was I was working at a digital marketing startup, mall.com. You can use the Wayback Machine and go all the way back to the beginning. And we were just selling real estate on a website. And I became friends with people who were in charge of getting traffic to the website. And that was just a puzzle. Like, we do this to the website, we put these links here. It's basically, it's a puzzle. And that was way more exciting to me than, smiling and dialing and trying to beg for budgets and stuff like that. So, I had all these ideas of how we could make the website better and develop partnerships. And I was a threat to the sales manager.
Sure.
And so I got fired.
Oh.
Yeah. So I said, well, okay. I recruited the sales trainer who trained me. And I said, okay, we know what they're doing, and they're doing a really bad job. We figured out they were using about 95% of the client's budgets for profit and putting 5% back into traffic generation.
Wow.
So we said, well, why don't we go, 60-40? Like, we'll blow them out of the water. And I had just started playing around with this new thing called Google AdWords. We had already been doing some pay-per-click with, Overture and GoTo and, Find What in the very early search engines. I was like, look, we can invest more of the client's money, give them more good traffic. We'll kill them. So, I was 25, unmarried, no children.
Yeah.
$600 a month rent. So I was like, let's do it. And
Yeah, living large. Yeah.
yeah, totally. And we got our buddy to build us like a $500 website and started calling our old clients from mall.com saying, hey, we've got this new thing. come give us a try.
So,
And
sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
that's how it took off.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I love the spirit of the entrepreneur, seeing an opportunity, jumping right in. What did those no playbook years teach you about innovation and experimentation?
Oh my God. Candy store. So, it kind of feels like this now with AI because there's no entrenched leader. It is just constant iteration and tinkering and well, let's see what happens when I do this. And then, taking that and applying it to first our own business. So like because marketing for marketing is the hardest marketing you can do
I bet. You're right.
because all the marketers know how to market. So we were finding little ways to make our own marketing better. And then, so we were eating our own dog food. We were the guinea pigs. And then applying that to our clients. Like, oh, we can do this. Oh, we can do that. Oh, you know, God, how do we prove that we're delivering this traffic? Well, that's a problem because our clients don't really know. So we go out and we research and we find log file analysis. So we started doing tracking and analytics in 2001,
Yeah. Wow.
which long before Google Analytics, like we were doing log file analysis.
Right, right. Yeah, you're piecing it together, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So just finding all the little, points of friction or, well, how do I know it works? Well, what's your sales now? And then give us some money and what's your sales later? Like it, it- just finding out what we needed to do to overcome objections and, to streamline things, to make our workload easier. Again, it's still like that. And it's become like that before. Uh, I'll stop my monologue here in a second because you know, digital marketing's always changing. So first it was paid search and SEO. So then we were all gaming, like putting all the keywords in the same color as the background.
Oh, yeah.
Like it's all a game. It's all a system. You figure out how the system works. Then it became social media and like, well, how do I get Tom to be my friend or in my top eight? Stuff like that. Uh, Chat rooms. I was directing people to the local computer store in exchange for parts.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it, yeah. So, I mean, it sounds like, you were innovative, you were quick to, like, learn and try and figure out, and which I know is coming in handy today with AI. But before we start to talk about AI, tell us about, your ideal client now. Are you working primarily with smaller regional service-based companies, or are you national, or who do you like to work with? Who's a good fit?
Primarily service-based businesses, just because, I had a big, long, career with e-commerce and it's transactional. So it's a race to the bottom, you know, not a lot of fun. So with service-based businesses, I'm a service-based business, so we can speak the language. We know the process very well. And especially depending on the clients, whoops, whether it's, I love recurring revenue, as do they. So, especially with accountants. But with lawyers, there's a high enough dollar, like the clients are valuable enough where, you know, it's worth it to go out and spend money to attract a client because you're going to get a big pay back.
Yeah, right, right.
Some of the home services are like that as well, although you know, it's a crowded market. Uh, remodelers, hey, if somebody's going to drop $100,000 on a new kitchen, they can afford to go spend some real money and do some real marketing, you know? And
Right, right. No, I like that. I like that.
IT services, those are like, recurring revenues, monthly, monthly fixed pricing, and then, especially recently and still ongoing because I know I'm behind with updating my Windows 10,
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah.
as are many businesses. I know, I know. Uh, and I've got IT services clients. I've got CMIT, locally here as a client. And they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, no, it's on my list. Uh, so you still have those one-time projects, those upgrades, but network security.
Yeah, so it's like it's developing that relationship so you guys are continuing, you're growing, they're growing. It's not just to come in, do something, and leave. It's really, servicing them, and you can see them. Yeah. That's why I enjoy it the same, it's a partnership, I think.
Yeah, and sometimes it starts with a project, and we start small and prove ourselves, and then it grows over time. And there's nothing more. Uh, was it yesterday? Day before yesterday? Local IT services client. Hadn't talked to him in like 4 months, which makes me nervous. So I go into the call thinking, okay, I've got to like really justify, you know, the budget and the ad spend. And he comes in and is like, hey man, it's been a while. What else can we do?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I want to do more. I want to do LLM. I want to show up in Chat GTP. I want to do this, that. I'm like, that's the good stuff because we started small with, getting him off of a proprietary website platform. And now, we're doing 4 or 5 different things. There's a big trade show coming up here in Chicago.
Yeah. That's great.
So we're doing some marketing around that. And yeah, but it's the long term relationship, you
Yeah, for sure.
that's far more rewarding than like another SaaS client.
Right, exactly. You were a remote worker long before COVID and made it mainstream. How would you say, being remote shaped the way you run your business today?
Greatly. Because my very first business, that first ad agency we started after I got fired from mall.com, like we worked from our homes and then we turned my apartment to an office. And then we started hiring people, bringing them to the office or bringing them to the apartment. And then, even though we worked remotely from home, it was still that mindset of bringing people to the office. And there are goods and bads. Like you have that in between time, which you can't really get when you're remote.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little siloed. True.
Uh, but at the same time, once I kind of got away from that model, it opens up your talent pool to infinity, to the globe. Uh, you know, my wife has a hybrid job. She works remotely 1 day a week, and that's the day that she gets all her work done.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
You can't have the office drop in, or she works
yeah,
at a law school, so students come in, surprise meetings, instead of just being able to kind of hunker down and focus. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Like my kids are, in fourth and seventh grade, so I'm kind of half stay at home dad, half, you know, full time employee. So I do have the flexibility to drop off and pick up and, you know, uh, grocery shopping and school activities, but my work doesn't have to suffer,
exactly. Yeah,
and my kids don't have to suffer from my work either. And my poor wife has a, in office job where she has to commute sometimes an hour, sometimes more, depending on traffic or whether it's snowing outside. And boy, I'm so glad I don't have to deal with that. I'm so much more productive.
yeah, I think that is something that people misunderstand about remote work. I think they think people aren't doing it, or I hear sometimes about being remote or over Zoom is that, you can't make those connections. And I disagree. I think you can connect with people over Zoom. It's possible. And it's being remote is, um, it gives you that flexibility, as you said. You mentioned to me how you've used everything from, go to my PC to WebEx to Zoom to Google. What tools are absolutely essential for you and how you work today? What do you rely on day to day?
Oh, day to day Zoom, although, I was an early adopter of Zoom. I was working at Cisco when Zoom started, and I started migrating to Zoom while I was still working at Existo, which ruffled some feathers.
Mhm. I'm sure.
I'm actually starting to get off of Zoom and utilize Google Meet more often because I'm a big, Google Workspaces every day, all day for hosting, for email, for you know, document storage. Uh, I'm already paying for Google Meet. Why am I paying another $35, $40 a month on Zoom or on Slack? There's another 20 or on, I'm, I use Notion a lot for tasks and project management, timeline.
Mhm.
Google doesn't have a good replacement for that yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna ask, does it integrate or how do you integrate it?
Uh, it does from like you can share files, stuff like that. Uh, it, I've really started utilizing Notebook LM. Uh, it's great for infographics.
Oh, mhm.
It's great for creating some really useful content, video content, uh, presentations. So I'm not nearly as much uh, in PowerPoint anymore, especially those old corporate days. God, it was death by PowerPoint.
Right. I don't know. I am a Microsoft person, so I can't quite get on Canva. I'm still PowerPoint, but, that's what I grew up on, I guess. Um, you shared your story about getting in trouble at Cisco with using Zoom, which I think is hilarious. But that makes me think, like, how important is it for, business owners to trust their instincts when better tools come along? You made the pivot. It seems like sometimes people are, well, I do, what I just said, right? I use PowerPoint. I'm afraid of Canva. Do you have any kind of hints or suggestions for us you know, to trust our instincts, or how should we be evaluating those tools when new ones come?
Well, I think it all comes down to ROI. I'm one of those people. So am I getting value out of what I'm paying for? And is the pain of change less expensive than what I'm paying for now and the value that I'm getting for now?
Right, right.
And that's like Zoom is Zoom, and now everybody else has caught up to what Zoom, like the lead that they had, because they used to hate Google Meet, but now they've made it good enough where it's competitive, and I'm already paying for it. The same with Slack, like early adopter to Slack. Well, Slack got really annoying really fast,
Yeah, yeah,
and they've kind of done what I swear all small SaaS businesses do. They start moving up the value chain and they forget the entire base, the small business base that they built their businesses on. And now it's expensive.
yeah, it is. My last bill went up and I was like, "Oh, that got my team grew, but my Slack bill grew."
Yeah. So it's like, okay, I'll use Notion. And while it not be, synchronous real time chat, like I kind of don't want to be bothered in that much real time anyway.
Yeah, yeah, fair. That's fair.
So, if it's asynchronous, then that's great. If it's 5 minutes or if there's a little bit of a chat back and forth, that's all we're going to use it for anyway. And you can still share files and link back, and it's got a Canva integration. So I'm not a power can't like I have people to make like they can make things pretty, and I'm like, this is my idea. Go make it real.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. You said AI feels like the early days of digital marketing in our previous conversation, wide open, no dominant player, kind of full of opportunities. What kind of makes this moment feel so similar to that era? Is it just because it's a new tech, or, what is there a common thread there?
Part of it is that it's new tech, but not just new for new sake, because you can do so much with it. And, you know, like I've been using generative AI for years to help create content through like I remember Jarvis AI, which they had to rename after the Marvel folks got upset. So now it's Jasper AI, but I found them years ago, and they were kind of like the first ones that were really doing it well. And so, you find tools, uh, and now with these, LLMs, you can do that and you can do so much more. And now you can have like a brain and you can build agents and you can have the supervisor agent supervising the other agents doing tasks. And that's what's different about this. It's more than just a new technology. It really is like it's not just one tool. You can make this one tool do so many different things. And the one thing, well, there's a lot of things, but it's like so blue ocean. It's so wide open. You have to really like find what's possible and then find where you can implement it and really adopt it, because otherwise you're just scattered all over the place trying a bunch of different things. But if it's not impacting your workload so you can do more work with it, if it's not impacting your revenue, like if it's just cool for cool's sake, you know, it's a waste of time. Like, as long as you can measure, I'm using this, this is impacting my bottom line or my, gross revenue. Until then, it's just cool. So that's the thing. Like, find one or two things and implement it and adopt it and make it your process, and then go find one or two more things and do it incrementally, because you can't make a big change.
No, no.
It's too difficult.
I was able to, because we have multiple phone lines, help desk, public facing, my line, there's all these different phone lines. And I found in one of my networking groups, an AI tool that kind of brings all of those calls together. It's like sends me it will transfer wherever it needs to go. The voicemails are transcribed. I can get a text alert if it's urgent. And just like not having to pick up voicemails everywhere saved me at least 10 hours a week, and my admin is like cleared up. It's amazing. Like that to me was my biggest time saver with AI.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it. They don't like talking to Marissa. They want to talk to me. And so, I just say, well, you can text, or, if you call me, and I mean, I do answer the phone, but if I'm on a call or something, I can't. But that to me is my biggest AI win. I mean, other than, my chat GPT that helps me all day, but having that AI assistant has been great. And the developer, every time I come up with an idea, I'm like, can we do this or can we do that? And he just kind of keeps tweaking it, so it will work. But that's personally my favorite AI tool, because I can say it saved me time.
Yes.
It's like I can point to that. It's not just fun and shiny. It's like it literally is saving me hours a week. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely integrated it into, back end processes, or even for me, looking at a potential new client, being able to quickly analyze what they've got. It saves me hours of just digging through reports and doing analysis myself. Now it's not perfect. I still have to go fact check it, like even basic stuff like how many words are in this thing that you just wrote?
yeah,
Oh, 515. And I copy and paste and, or do the word count and Google Docs. It's like, there's 382. Try harder. And what were your instructions? It's like to write 1,000 words. It was like, hey, do better. So you do have to check things. You can't just let it be your brain. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah, definitely. You shared with me, your chief of staff agent with Perplexity. I thought that was hilarious. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, my favorite LLM is Perplexity, and I've been on it for about a year and a half, really training a chief of staff, because you know God, it saves me so much time. I mean, I can look at what we're doing for Lyft Digital Marketing in terms of, you know, content and strategy and, you know, really identifying pain points for clients and writing content to speak to those pain points. It keeps me on track as far as it's like, okay, your Q2, your Q1 goals are to add, 5K a month in MRR. Like right now, according to your invoices, you're only at 1,300. So you need to reach out and contact more people. Uh, or your last few content pieces have been off topic for your Q1 target audience. You need to get back on track. And it takes a while to get there, uh, but it helps me, clarify thought. A big thing that I use it for is, I do video calls with clients and it, does the transcript. It gives me notes. It gives me takeaways. I used to live by legal pad for 20 years. And now I don't have one in front of me, and it's a much better memory than me, for sure.
Right, right.
It keeps it like I think it's this. No, it's that. Here's the clip. I'm like, oh, thanks. It hasn't saved me. No, I take that back. It has saved me with a client because they said that I would do something when I didn't say I'd do it, and then you know, they got upset and demanded money back. And was like, well, here's the transcript and here's the video.
Oh, wow.
I never said I'd do that. Like that's not what we agreed upon. So here you go.
Yeah, interesting.
And well, they were mad. Like they went away, and that's fine because firing clients is great. Like it's not great that you have to, but it's great that you get to if you can. Uh, after years and years of working for bad bosses,
Yeah, exactly.
like if I have a bad boss, I'm just like, you know what? I like I'm not a good fit for you. So I can give you some recommendations or I can help you find maybe somebody who will take this sort of crap, but I'm not. Uh, it's great.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it sounds like I'm gonna back up a second, but, when you were talking about your chief of staff, it sounds like you can, track those KPIs kind of at a lower level. Like, that's what I see too. It's like you can make those quarterly goals and see if you're hitting them. Where before, I would make a dashboard or, pull data around and see where we are and like getting it would, take an hour or 2 or, and I didn't mind because I like data, but now it's in there and it's like we can track at a at a finer grain, which I think is great, um, and catch it maybe more frequently. You could see where you are mid-month. You don't have to wait till the end of the month.
Yeah, and I don't have to put any I don't really have to do manual reporting anymore. And that was, there's still some level of it because systems are systems and they're, all over the place.
Sure. Yeah.
Uh, but I don't integrate it fully with much. Like I give it the ability to read emails, but not write them. I give it, like I upload invoices. I don't integrate it with, my software, just so that there is that level of separation. And I'm using the paid version because if you're not paying for it, you're paying for it.
Yeah. And I like that. That's a good one. I'm gonna steal that. That's good.
Like either they're the product or you're the product.
Yeah, it's so crazy to me when I hear people are still using free ChatGPT, and they say, "Oh, it doesn't matter." I'm like, "It matters," yeah.
You're training it. You're training the big one. And I know, like, I have a friend who's a district attorney in Texas, and one of his coworkers got fired for using free Chat GTP at work with evidence, with case files,
Oh,
and somewhere somebody knows how to extract that data because it all goes in. So, it's interesting. Like, I know people are developing AI specifically for lawyers to do, research and briefs. I know most hospitals have an AI co-pilot. Uh, there's they better have that super duper lockdown. It's very expensive, you know. But yeah, oh my God, don't use the free version for anything. It's $20. It's $20. Don't go to Starbucks once or twice a month.
Right, exactly. What would you tell, sometimes I think seasoned business owners may feel overwhelmed about AI, or they don't want to learn another tool. They just kind of want those results. How would you help your clients feel who are resistant or intimidated? How would you kind of like, you know, inch them into this or share with them, how, what would be a good step for them?
Yeah, certainly. Well, the first thing I always do is, again, show them small things that are possible and easy to implement and that aren't scary so that, you dip your toe in, you check the temperature, you show them those small wins that are easy because, yeah, if you wanted to do complex things, it's complex. Absolutely. And, you know, your second day behind the wheel of a car, you're not a NASCAR driver. So you have to practice and work your way up to do those, bigger, more complex things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Part of it is just showing them what's possible. I've been at this for a little while, and I've got several colleagues who like this is their business. They are, AI strategists, consultants, and my buddy was showing me. Yeah, I got a random request from a friend the other day. He had a old picture of him and his mom at his high school graduation that was discolored because it was like 30 years old. And he asked if there was any way that I could fix it. So I was like, well, send me the photo. And he said it took him about 3.5 minutes to develop a photo regeneration AI app.
Wow. Yeah.
And he cleaned it up. And it turns out it was for his mom's funeral.
Oh,
So I know. But he turned it around in 5 minutes and said, hey, here you go. And it was perfect.
yeah. Wow. Yeah, before you would have to go find a Photoshop person, you would have to, it would be days. Yeah.
Photoshop. He said he had already reached out to like half a dozen people on Fiverr, and he doesn't know how much it was going to cost. And if you have somebody who knows it at that level, like that's what's possible, and that's how quickly it's possible. And honestly, I was like, dude, build a website. Like if you wanted to, like this is a standalone business. You could offer that. Now you would have to still figure out how to monetize it, but you know people have been monetizing, digitizing home videos, and who knows how many different applications there are. That was just a one-off thing.
Yeah. 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 Very true.
So I didn't even know. Like he showed it to me, and I was just mouth agape.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Uh, but I didn't even think that that was possible. So part of it is just like really figuring out. Okay, so I've gone through this exercise personally, and I still have to go through it every few years. And I talk to other business owners about, you know, because everybody knows like the statistics, businesses, 80% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. Uh, Capital is cited as number one. I don't think it's capital. I think it's burnout. I think it's overwhelmed by the business owner trying to do everything because you can. Like, there's no limit to the work you can do. Uh, but not all that work is fun or you like it or it like gives you energy. So figure out what you like doing and then find out a way to only do the parts you like. And then figure out a way to make the other parts as painless as possible or just pay somebody else to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why your next 5 years, people burn out after, 10 years and another 80% fail. And it's the same thing. People get bored. Like, hey, if I baked pies for 10 years, I might want to bake something else, you know?
Make something else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and what is that? Yeah, and figure that possibility of what your other options are.
Exactly. So I don't like reconciling books. Well, now I know I just make a bunch of rules and it's done for me. And I don't have to do it. So, and that's kind of what's possible with AI, even down to marketing, where I implement it, where we come up with a content calendar, we come up with themes on a weekly or monthly basis. We write to that. Uh, I don't have anybody go onto your Facebook page and log in and post it from there. There are so many tools that can do that.
Buffer, yeah, yeah, so many yeah, that can help. Yeah, that's so true. That's so true.
Absolutely. Now, you still got to, again, program it right. And there are tools out there trying to create, like, spin up social media content based on rules or whatever. And you could tell it's not good.
You'll have to send me some of those bad ones.
It's very bland. It's very generic. Uh, the other thing that I see, like the biggest AI misuse, cold outreach. Oh my God, so many emails, so many LinkedIn messages. The LinkedIn messages kill me. Like, offering me services that I provide. Like, no.
Oh, right, yeah, and they're not doing their due diligence at all. No.
Or like, so on LinkedIn, I have my name is Aaron M. Welch. In the middle initial is part of my first name. So if I get a message with "Hello, Aaron M," block. I immediately block because it's spam.
Yeah. You're like, "Oh, that's hilarious." Yeah, yeah. That's it. Well, I'm glad you didn't mark me as spam because we did connect over LinkedIn.
So no, did, but remember, I got this invite to the Savvy,
Yeah, the Cyber Savvy Woman podcast. Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, the Cyber Savvy, and I was like, "Well, hey, I know my name's Aaron, but are you sure that this is right?" And then, of course, you respond, it's like, "Yes, it's right. This is what we're doing." I was like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, no, nice. No, I love it. All right, kind of our last little a couple more little sessions here. You and I talked about how with AI, it's so important to get the right prompt, or to you can get a weird answer if you don't have the right prompt. What was your biggest lesson when you were learning about how we should be prompting AI or and using those prompts effectively?
Man, I mean, it's been an evolution because in the beginning, it was just like, "Do this thing," and then it would spit this thing out. And it was like, "Oh, wow, that's amazing," and I would just use it. So, you know, then you start doing enough and you see trends, like in today's competitive landscape or in today's digital world, or, like, you can start seeing trends where that preposition to lead off a paper or an article, uh, I don't know, 6 or 7 months ago, spontaneously, all of the engines started using dashes in its writing, in its content creation. And it wasn't a thing before, but it goes out to the old gig of garbage in, garbage out. If you're very precise, it'll give you precise answers.
Yeah. I have to say that's hard for me because 'cause I'm not a detail person, I'm more high level. So I'm curious about that because I know sometimes I think my prompts could probably are too high level and they're like, I start there and then I'm like, "Make it this or make it that," then I kinda drill in, but I've never really started with, like, a really robust prompt at the beginning. Um, I think partly because write, I prefer numbers over writing, like it's not intuitive for me, but I'm curious about how I should, improve my prompt engine. And I've heard it's a major now, prompt engineering,
Prompt engineering, yeah.
you know, yeah, you can get a degree in that. So it's not for the lighthearted, but um, yeah, it's interesting to me, the prompt.
No, but there are plenty of frameworks, and they're kind of still all over the map because you can still, go 8 ways to get to a similar answer. Where it's, some of them talk about how you tell, whatever engine how you want it to act. So this is your role. This is what you're an expert in. This is what I want you to do. All of those things.
Yeah. I have not done that with my chat. No. I also have not named my chat. I don't think I'll be doing that.
I started naming them, and then it felt a little, and I started like creating images and photos, and then it started feeling a little weird. It started feeling like the movie Her, and I'm like, I'm not going that deep.
Weird. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I did stop saying thank you and please. I was like, "All right, I don't need to write that."
I still do that. I'm still, I try to use good manners, just in case Skynet happens, and then I feel like I'm gonna be covered.
Exactly. Right. Someone all right, you're on that side. That's hilarious.
Yes, but there are honestly, there are so many communities, so many videos. Look, go to YouTube. You know, there's tons of good content. You can go to. I just found a an online platform, School, Skool, where people have their own, online communities. Some are free, some you pay for. It's just another place to build a community, right? Uh, God, you can go. There's so many online resources because it is so new and exciting. Everybody's trying stuff and tinkering and documenting their journey, and then everybody's trying to be first in so many ways. So they run out and say, "Hey, I got ChatGPT to do this cool thing for me. Here, look." I'm like, oh, well, I like that, but I'm going to just put my little spin on it, or I'm going to put different guardrails on it. And it can be overwhelming. There's, again, I mean, there are probably billions and billions of hours dedicated just to prompting. Uh, you know, again, you've got to look at how many followers, look at how many views, look at how many comments, look at how old the videos are, because that's something that, too. Like if something's from 6 months ago, it might already be outdated.
Outdated. Yeah.
But don't let that make you scared or feel overwhelmed, because it's also evidence of nobody has it figured out. So if you're starting out and you're bumbling and stumbling, we all are. So don't let that stop you from, it's not a silver bullet. And that's the thing. Like, just like every new technology, it's going to fix everything. It's going to cure everything. This is the new. I've been marketing against silver bullets for 25 years.
So true.
And I always come back to this: no piece of technology is going to fix your crappy marketing.
That's hilarious, Aaron. I like it. That's your tagline now.
It's just going to make your marketing crappier faster. Right? Do it crappier faster. Like, you got to know your clients and your customers. You've got to know what, their pain points are. You got to know what your competitors are charging, and you've got to know your capabilities. Like, it's still, your four P's at the end of the day. you know, uh, and it comes back to, you know, I think on some level caring that you're doing a good job for your clients, because like a lot of this LinkedIn outreach or cold outreach, it's just this army of people doing crap work. It's the laziest form of, I've got a list, I'm going to spam the crap out of you. It's a numbers game. Well, that does more damage than good. And, you know, I teach people how to do it the right way. And then they figure out, well, to do it the right way, I don't have time, but I know I need to do it. So I'm going to pay you. Like, yes, you don't have time. Like, you're an expert in what you're in. I'm an expert in marketing.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, Excellent. So, Aaron, our last little section is the rapid fire round. So, I'm going to ask you some questions. You're going to just tell me what's on the top of your mind. I think we kind of know some of the answers already, but we'll just go through this here. So, Google or Microsoft?
Uh, Google.
All right. And then a PC or a Mac?
Oh, PC. Yeah. I've never been a Mac person.
And then a tablet or a phone?
Phone. I used to be tablet, but I can't carry around a tablet.
Right. Exactly. That's true. Automation or delegation?
Oh, that's tough because I'm better at automation than delegation. I still have that kind of, founder is like, you know,
Yeah. I can do it all. Yeah.
I can do it all, but I also know, and I have to relearn this too. Two people doing 60% of what I can do is more than 100% of what I can do.
I like that.
So delegation is more important than automation.
Yeah. Fair. One app you can't live without?
I only get one. Oh man.
Yeah, it's just one.
Oh, I mean, it's still the bane of my existence, but email.
Okay, fair. And early internet days or AI era, which is more exciting?
Oh man. And that's really tough because in the early internet days, there weren't a lot of us doing it. So, and now with AI, we're also competing on a global scale versus a national or local scale. So the competition is so much more fierce, but the learning opportunity is so much greater because, you know, somebody literally on the other side of the planet is working on a problem I have. So to me, that's super exciting. Uh, Also, the problem though is somebody next door or on the other side of the planet is trying to find a way to exploit what I have.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we could call that like maturity, I think. Maybe, you have more of you're seeing what's happening. But um, Aaron, thank you so much for joining me today. I loved your perspective on how AI feels like the early digital marketing days again, wide open, creative, full of opportunity for people willing to experiment. Your approach to using AI as a strategic partner, not just a shortcut, is such a great reminder that technology isn't about replacing people. It's about helping business owners think better, plan smarter, and work more efficiently. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning into the Cyber Savvy Woman, where we explore practical ways women can protect themselves, their business, and their futures in an increasingly digital world. To connect with Aaron Welch, check out the show notes for links and resources. And if you enjoy this episode, don't forget to follow, rate, and share the show. And join us next time for more real conversation about technology, leadership, and living a more cyber savvy life. Thank you. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you very much.
The Cyber Savvy Woman podcast requires more than a conversation. It takes action, research, and collective wisdom. If today's episode resonated with you, we'd love to hear your insights. Join the conversation and help us shape the future together. We'll be back with more stories, strategies, and real-world solutions that are making a difference for everyone. In the meantime, be sure to subscribe, rate, write a review, and share it with someone you think would benefit from it too. Hey, thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode.